Paula again.
And we are
the
Sensei Sisters.
Again.
We are trying this again. We just lost our connection for some reason.
We didn't even really get started, so we're starting from scratch.
Today we are responding to Christy's request to give you guys more information about healthy eating.
Mm-hmm.
And so here goes PUFA. There it is.
PUFA. What's a PUFA? A PUFA is a polyunsaturated fatty acid. Now, you're like, I don't know what that is, but most people don't know what that is. And polyunsaturated fatty acids are bad. This is what you need to know, is that they are bad. And I'll tell you some examples of them in a second. But why would you want to avoid polyunsaturated fatty acids, Tina? Do you know? Because they could cause, over time
I do whatever you tell me to do. I don't really pay attention.
Over time, they cause such things as heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, and maybe other problems, dysfunctions of your organs, hormonal imbalances, lots of stuff you don't want.
All the stuff that's wrong with me. No, I'm kidding.
All the stuff that's wrong with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And why do we have these problems? Because 60 whatever years ago, a jerk named Ansel Keys, and if we get cut off again, I know it's the government conspiracy theory. Okay. Ansel Keys was a doctor, sort of, and they hired him to do a study. And long story short, his study was garbage, okay? And he came up with the idea that certain things cause people to have heart attacks, like fat and red meat. And that's why the way he did his study was he asked a bunch of dudes in a room what they ate. And so that is not reliable data. So the current data and accurate data tells us that what is really causing people to have heart disease and all of these things, and the reason that they have persisted in increasing in numbers over the year instead of decreasing, even though we had Ansel Keys' great wisdom, is because we eat more and more of these PUFAs, these polyunsaturated fatty acids, which started with Crisco. Crisco's going to come after me. They're going to come after me.
Yeah.
Y'all protect me from Crisco.
And Popeye's red beans, you know. have you ever like put Popeye's red beans though in the refrigerator and then it separates? It's like Crisco on the top.
Now Popeye's going to come after us.
Oh, sorry Popeyes. I love you Popeyes, but really, seriously.
All right,
you can't eat healthy.
Y'all are like, what is a PUFA? Okay, so polyunsaturated fatty acids, as I said, they cause all this stuff that you don't want to happen to you. And Crisco is an example. Anything that just says vegetable oil, that's a PUFA. There's a lot of them. There are 3 that start with C and 3 that start with S that you need to avoid. Now there's some good ones that start with C or S that you don't want to avoid. So you need to keep a note of what those ones are. But I'm going to tell you the bad C's and the bad S's.
I'm looking ahead and I'm freaking out.
Canola oil. For years, I kept buying canola oil because it was the new good oil. It's the new fancy oil. No. Corn oil, cottonseed oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, and safflower oil.
Okay, wait. So back up just for a second. Is it okay to eat sunflower seeds?
Sunflower seeds are fine.
Okay, good, because my favorite one of those mixed salads is that sunflower.
Sunflower seeds are good for you.
Okay, good.
I'm about to tell y'all the reason that this is bad for you, because it's the way it is obtained. But before I tell you that, just so y'all know what the good ones are. The good oils to use, the C one that's good is coconut, and the S one that is good is sesame. The good other oils, avocado, olive oil, and peanut oil. Those are all good. Now think about, how do you get oil from something? The best way to get oil, if you ever eat like a handful of peanuts, you know your hands get greasy, you go shelling your sunflower seeds and you might get some oil on your fingers, but not a lot. But peanuts, you might get kind of greasy if you like smash them up. That's why when they make peanut butter, they're not adding a whole lot of stuff in that peanut butter to make it creamy like that. It's got its own, you know, if you mash a peanut, it's got its own sort of creamy consistency because it's heavy in its own oil. Same thing with coconuts are very oily. Avocados have that good fatty texture. And sesame seeds too. If you ever mash one, there's a good little bit of oil in those little things. They're tiny, but they've got oil in them. And so, and olives, of course, you can see in them, they're full of oil. And all it takes is to press those. If you ever see cold pressed on any of your oils, that's the best kind, because they are not processed in any way. They're just mashing them. The way that you get canola oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, they take these plants that start out as plants and they burn them with chemicals.
Oh no.
And you say, Priscilla, but if they burn them with chemicals, they would be discolored and stinky. They are. And then they clean them up. They not decontaminate them, but they basically it's like they're bleaching.
They use more chemicals to clean them up.
They bleach them so that they look nice and yellow, which makes people think they're healthy. And then they deodorize them so they're not stinky anymore. And they say, look, this is good for you.
I'm sorry, these two guys are having a conversation right by my car door.
So then the polyunsaturated fatty acids that you end up with in the canola oil and corn oil and cottonseed oil and all these things, that's what you're really getting, is this deodorized, bleached, burnt chemical stuff.
So Christy, stop eating the canola oil.
And so here's the problem though, is we eat this stuff all the time and we don't even realize, because they put it in everything, because it's so much cheaper to make a granola bar or a frozen dinner or whatever if you're using this burnt crap oil rather than real olive oil or real coconut oil. Another problem is, once you have these oils that are deodorized and freshened up, they hardly have any actual taste to them. If you go and eat olive oil or coconut oil, you're going to taste it. You know what those taste like. They have flavor because they're still real plant oils. If you and butter, which is a good fat too. Somebody gonna come after me now. Butter is good for you, y'all. I'm not lying. And also the fat that is in meat. I love y'all vegans, but you get a little militant, so calm down. We are omnivores. It's nature. I know y'all trying to save the animals. I love animals too, and I don't want to go into that all right now. Be responsible in your purchases though, people. Get the cage-free eggs, you know, but and don't be afraid of yellows. Don't be afraid of yolks. But we're talking about PUFAs right now.
You know, you talking about the yolks though. My cardiologist was like asking me, okay, what do you eat for certain meals and stuff? And when I told him I used egg whites, and I said I don't use the whole egg, I just use the egg white, and he's like, girl, eat that yolk, it's not going to kill you.
I'm glad to hear that.
Like, and I have high cholesterol naturally. I'm just, you know, it's kind of hereditary in our family.
See, that's another thing. People will say, but I am predetermined to have high cholesterol, predetermined to have cancer, heart disease, because these things, that's like a whole nother episode of
this. I get that. I totally understand that.
But those things, just because you're predetermined to get something doesn't mean you will if you are protecting yourself by
fight
eating.
against it.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to it's kind of like working against your handicap. If you know that's your handicap, then yeah. So
if you're eating these oils, you're perpetuating that thing that is hereditary, and that's called epigenetics. That's a whole nother episode. Epigenetics.
Jeez,
we'll do
she's
that
got
sometime.
so many episodes.
I have episodes all the time. But so yeah, y'all are gonna want to start looking at labels, and it's hard. So I'm gonna give y'all a little gifty today, okay, in the form of a link. And you already saw the link, on Peanut Butter Day. If y'all are in my, and I know not everybody on here because I only got 40-something people in my group, and it's 500 of y'all watching. Well, not watching, but 500 of y'all who follow or like our page. We'll talk about that again too. There's 500 of y'all. So if y'all would head over to my Priscilla's Transformation Tribe group and sign up on there, y'all would have seen it already on Peanut Butter Day, National Peanut Butter Day. I posted this link because there was a list of peanut butters that are good. But there is a link I'm going to share down below. It is from a lady named Dr. Kate CATE. She has a Facebook page as well, but her website is amazing. She has several books she's written that are amazing. But she actually has a list of how to shop, what to buy. It's not 100% of everything, because obviously there's a million different foods to choose from in the grocery store. Shopping in the grocery store can get a little overwhelming. So she has compiled a really cool list that has a lot of basic staples in it, and it tells you, okay, here's a few different peanut butters that are pretty good, and here's one that's the best, and this is what the texture is like. Like, she's like very careful because she knows what people's thought process is. So she's like, if it bothers you that it separates, then maybe try this one, but it's not the best choice. It's in the middle of the road. And while we're on that, another oil that exists is palm oil. Palm oil is one of those. It gets sketchy because it depends on how they obtain it, and if it's responsibly sourced and all that stuff. So palm oil is kind of in the middle, if y'all were curious about palm oil, because that popped in my head when I think of peanut butter.
I never heard of it.
Really, it is the main ingredient in Nutella after chocolate and sugar.
I don't eat Nutella. I'm allergic to hazelnuts. Yeah. That's like a burden to be allergic to hazelnuts.
If you already have food allergies and you have to be careful about labels and stuff like that, then you'll already know what you're getting into with these PUFAs. But if you take a look at that link after I'll post it, you're gonna just be like enlightened. My God! I got so excited.
Carried away today. All right. So what Priscilla alluded to earlier was that we have a lot of people, probably like 25 people that follow us but have never liked the page. So it's kind of strange, usually. And I was like, why would somebody follow us but not like us? And she said maybe they're trolls and they don't really like us, but they're following us so they can pick on us. But we haven't really had any trolls on our page, which probably is not a good thing, because you're popular when people start trolling you. Well, anyway, but if you're one of those people who have followed us but did not like our page, please go and click like on our page so we can get our numbers up. We're trying to get Ellen to buy us a building, and we're going to open the Sensei Sisters 5-H Club and all that good stuff. And if we don't get popular, we'll never have it happen.
Yeah, we got to be famous. Facebook famous.
So start reading those labels. Make yourself a priority.
Take care of you.
Bye.
Bye.